Welcome to Peep Game TV and Keeping It Real team collaboration.
What can you do about the death of our
Your man SRD,
drugs?
aka Shadi Ali, with my man K Shaw, aka Mr. F Love. 1 2 to 5 on this for a minute.
This place we call living section. Why do you I don't know. Maybe because our lives are worth less than anyone else's. Or because we have drug dealers, liquor stores, and every other corner. What can we do to change our condition and the way our people sleep, as well as the way we see ourselves? Also, the way we treat each other. Are we afraid of change? Do we see ourselves as animals that need to be controlled by police? Everything's got about me.
Okay, y'all, that was a little something that I did back in the day called What Can We Do? You know, it ends, what can we do? I'm gonna start with you and me. You dig?
Nice beat too.
Yeah, thank you. That's compliments of Dynamite Entertainment, aka J Hawk.
Oh, okay. Oh, he put J Hall put that on there. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a while ago, but it's still relevant.
Yeah. I was contemplating a question that had something to do with music.
Oh, okay.
Earlier. Yeah, I was thinking about it the way the way hip hop have formed certain things and the way it's structuring the communities and stuff like that. Then I was like, nah, I'll talk about that another time.
Yeah. I mean,
Like that,
yeah,
like what you like. That's positive right there, hip hop. You know what I
right.
mean? But we also got the negative hip hop.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The pros and the cons of it.
Yep.
You know, I like to call that rap. You know what I mean? I like to call the stuff that's not positive rap.
Oh yeah.
you know, where
Damn,
you get.
I forgot to do my questions, man. I got.
I meant to ask you that
No,
too.
I got. I mean, yours. I like to have it, on the big
Yeah,
screen.
yeah.
I don't know how I forgot that.
Well, I mean, it happens, brother. All right, y'all. So since I was away last week,
Yeah,
the week before, you
but
know what I
but
mean?
I don't mean to cut you off. But you know what?
Go ahead.
I took 2 weeks off too.
Oh, okay. Hey, that's
Yeah,
great, man.
I had messed around and got pneumonia
Wow.
in my left lung.
Okay.
Uh, like 2 weeks ago. The first week you went away, I had family emergency.
Right.
Then the second week that I was supposed to do it, I messed around. I had pneumonia.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, man. So how you feeling, man?
Oh, I'm good. It wasn't like it was like it was my first time ever. I guess is what they call a walking pneumonia
Right.
because I wasn't sick. I
Oh,
just
you
was
didn't. Right.
I just was tired, and I was tired, and I had a cough, a little cough, and a wheezing when I was sleeping, and like I sometimes I have that, but this one was a little bit different. So I went to the urgent care, and
Right.
they did an X-ray, and they told me that I had a touch of pneumonia in my left lung.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Well, I mean, at least you got on it because that sometimes people don't even know they have it and it gets bad.
that's the thing. Like, imagine somebody who not doctor um aware. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
My
me,
yeah.
I runs to the doctor, so I'm doctor aware. But I could imagine now why they call it walking pneumonia.
Yeah. When you not you be unconscious to and it's being conscious to your body and knowing that something a little off as well.
Yep. Yeah, I gotta
You know.
pull them questions up, man. Wait 1 second.
Okay, we
I had everything set up.
Yeah, yeah. Well, since you setting up, I'm gonna go ahead and get it started. Let you go with the first question.
Yeah, all right. I gotta let me hold on one. Hold on. Let me get it right.
Yeah, I'm set. I'm ready to go. Rested it up somewhat. So ready to do the daggone thing. You know, um, we talk a lot about history, and now it's a lot of talk about you know Black history and history being removed from schools. 67. What's up? What's going on? Yeah, ain't nothing much, man. We here, doing what we do. Entertainment, edutainment for y'all guys. That's what it is. That's what we doing. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm good now. I got
yeah.
it now.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of talk about history being removed out of the schools.
Right.
So and the cause of it and what impact is going to have in the near and long term future. You know, so my question is, what book, movie, or song best describe the history of our people?
You know what? And I'm a TV watcher.
Okay,
So I like to say like I'm a movie um historian. So I think I'm music too and books, but I'm really a movie connoisseur.
all right, keep keep going, keep
And
going,
all
just
right,
keep going.
and the main thing about um movies from my time is it's only one. Well, it's a couple of them, but the first movie that really stands out in my mind came out in 1976 when I was in the eighth grade, and a teacher. I believe it or not, our project was to watch this movie. Now, well, it wasn't a movie, then it was a TV series that came on TV.
And what was that? Which one? What was
What was crazy about it? The name of it was Roots,
it?
and it Roots by a guy named Alex Helly.
Right.
Now, this was some first time they put something on TV of that magnitude. And our teacher actually told us like that was a project to watch it, and I believe it came on every week for man, it was weeks and weeks.
For a good while.
Yeah, that was
I
it was. I
remember.
can't really remember if it came out once a week or 5 times a week. I can't really remember. I was 12, but I remember it was a lot of parts to that movie, and it went on. It took maybe like I want to guess maybe 3 months, 2 months or
Yeah.
something for the whole thing. And the movie was so well um documented far as he knew. Well, what he did, if y'all, for people who not familiar, his name was Alex Helly. What he did was he traced his family back all the way back to Africa. It took him years and years. I don't want to say how many. It took him years and years and years, but he traced his family ancestors back to Africa. And it took maybe 15, 20 years from him to do the research, and then he put it into film. And at 12 years old, that TV series about roots, about a black family or tribe uh, being stolen from Africa It also shows you how we lived in Africa. It showed you how they used to kidnap us. The Europeans would kidnap us and put us on the boats, chained and everything, and it would take like I think like 3 months to get them to I think the first place they went to was Virginia, and the boat ride was horrific. I mean, the people chained together on top of each other and on top. So you got to think about it. People was going to the bathroom, urinating on each other,
Right.
defecating on each other, throwing up on each other, women with their periods on each other, and they would just hose them down, and then and they chained shackle feet and hands, and the ones the people that didn't make it, they just threw them overboard to the sharks. And then the people that did make it there, it just went on to show you how Alatelli, I guess his roots or his family roots, and show you how it went from plantation to plantation to from slavery. It just I don't know. That one movie was that TV series. It did so much to me at a 12-year old that uh, I could never forget it. It was it was something. It really changed my views on things. A lot of things, whether it was 100% correct or whatever, it changed. It opened up a 12-year-old kid's mind to the world. Put it like that, to the world. But how about you?
Um, I remember Roots, you know,
Yeah.
and prior to that time, I remember hearing, you know, whispers, a little bit about slavery. They touched on it a little something. But as you said, the movie put a visual in your mind of how things were being portrayed at that
Hmm.
time. Now, later on, some years later, you know, there was other information floating around saying that, those travels were actually done here. They never went to Africa. They were actually bringing people from like Mississippi to Virginia. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
So, and remember,
Peace, Marshall.
remember that different states and different parts of America, people have different dialects.
Mm. Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
So right. So someone could have came from, say, Mississippi to Virginia, and you thought they were a foreigner at
Yeah,
that
that's
time.
that's true.
So I say that to say that you know we, as you said, we have to be careful whether the documentation was truly accurate or whether it was something prescribed to perpetuate a certain mindset. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
so because I was told that I needed to watch it. I think the whole school, everybody of a certain grade, were told to watch that movie.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and I wonder, had it been more pro African or pro black, where it showed us being more triumphant in it rather than being humiliated in a lot of cases, docile in some cases. you know would they have said, okay, watch it? uh Perfect example, if it had been more like the movie Django.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? What they would have told us to sit down and watch it, if it would have been more of that type of action. You
Yeah.
know. Now you also you also mentioned. what book. Now, this is a book that I think portrays our ancestors called a tropical dependency. It's by Flora Lagarde. This book actually, I think everybody, no matter what your ethnicity, get this book and read it. You will get a whole you will get a whole different concept about us as a people and how we were different in different places at different times and how we were basically rulers. We were basically govern ourselves in a lot of cases, and we had very in some ethnicities or some cultures, we had very high moral standards
Mm.
of how we conducted ourselves in certain situations. So I think that would be a really good book, especially for young people like the age we were when we saw movies,
Yeah.
to kind of give people an idea of, okay, a different perspective of us as a people so that it could be compared to where we are now and where we intend to be in the future. You
Yeah. What's
know,
the name? What's the name of it again?
it's called Tropical Dependency.
Oh, I gotta look. I gotta look that up.
Yeah, yeah, look it up, man. I'm almost finished with it. And you see how thick it is. I'm almost finished with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Very thick.
Yeah, so I really, and it was so interesting that I was into it. I was reading it, you know.
Yeah.
So and there was a time for me, man, where I would very rarely read, after the 5% nation, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, but other than that,
You know what they used to say? Um.
you want to hide something from us, put it in a book.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
You want to hide something from us? Put it in a book. Yeah.
Absolutely,
That's crazy.
absolutely, and we're working on that now. We're working on making that better. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
We're working on rectifying that type of mindset. You know,
Yeah.
so yeah, so that's my thought, and that would be what I would recommend. I would recommend the book.
Right. All right. I was moving right along. They already were. It's a lot of times I always say people can only fake. If people not being their own true self, they can't fake it for too long. And my mother used to always say, she used to always say, remember somebody when you first met them. Uh, remember them when you first met them. Remember everything they said to you, and remember everything they told you when you first met them. Because a lot of times it changes as time go on. You know,
Right,
when either they get the real truth of them come out, or the real force come out. You know what I mean? Whatever.
absolutely.
But with that being said, my question to you is, do you believe people truly change, or do they just become more of who they already were?
Mm. Wow, uh, that's a terrific question. I would say, and I would say, dependent on certain individuals, I think it varies based on individual to individual. I I think some people embrace change. You know what I mean? Some people consistently work on changing things about themselves to become better, on a everyday basis. They look at something that they feel like they can improve, and they start working towards improving it daily. And then there are people who are afraid of change. They look at themselves and they see the things that cause them hardship, that cause them difficulties, you know what I mean, that cause them setbacks, but yet they don't have the true motivation to do what it takes to change that part of their personality or that uh, those characteristics about them. Now, the other part is even those, hey, what's up, Shoshana? Even those who are, I would say, courageous enough to work on changing themselves each and every day, I believe that you don't completely change who you are. It's core things that are in each of us as individuals that I think may remain. You know, like some people we know, we've known for years, and even would say like fourth, fifth grade, you may have a person that was we had spoke on it. You had mentioned it a couple shows back. A person who loves to tell falsehoods. You know what I mean? A person that lies or something of that nature, or was kind of a klepto, stealing. Some of those people kept those behaviors throughout the years. You know,
Mm-hmm.
for you were always a humble individual. You know what I mean? You was always, courteous. You know, so that part of your characteristic remained it, even if other parts showed up. The core part of you remained, even no matter what you did, it still remained.
Facts.
So that's why I say, you know, if I'm comparing yourself and I, where we want to change certain things, we want to do certain things. You know what I'm saying? We want to do, we want to grow beyond. And yes, it gets difficult when you want to change behaviors that you've been dealing with for, in some cases, decades. You've developed these behaviors over decades, and when you finally realize that, this is something that's been in the way. This is something that's stagnated my progress. And if I don't change it, I'm not going to get to where I would like to be as an individual, you know? And I would say to those people who may be making the changes and sometimes fall back into those old habits, I would say to them, don't beat yourself up. Just brush yourself off and keep on moving and keep striving to get to being that person that you know you're capable of being. You know what I'm saying? So that would be my take on, do people change, or whether, or do they actually remain who they were? That's my take. Yeah, you. I think some people change more than others, but none of us completely change to a totally new person where everything is gone. What's your thought?
Before I say that, I want to show you something. How technology is,
Now, what
and
what was that?
how technology is and things is the people got to really be aware of what's going on in this world, man. How, like, we just was talking about roots, right?
Right. Absolutely.
So I picked up my other phone to see if I could make my questions bigger.
Right.
So I pick up my other phone and I go and I go to Facebook because it's on in my Facebook inbox. When I go to my Facebook inbox, look at the first thing that pop up. Now you know.
So
Now you know who this is. That's
now, who is that?
that's Chicken George,
Oh, okay.
and it's a whole write up
About Chicken George.
about Chicken George and about from roots, and that he was a real man and where he was born, and like yo, I'm telling you, these phones and stuff be listening to us, man.
Oh, absolutely.
How the hell could we just be talking about the roots and everything, and then something pop up on my phone about Chicken George and the roots and a whole story about how he was born in North Carolina and his son of Kizzy. It's crazy. That's kind of scary too.
Right. And it's funny because it's like, okay, he was one of the ancestors of Alex Haley,
Yeah,
which, you know, they depicted Kuta Kente of, from Africa, but now they say, now it was North Carolina after
yeah,
some time he was born there. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So we got to question.
yeah. I
Did
didn't
they
think. I
really
didn't
tell us
think
the
of that. I
truth?
didn't think. I didn't think of that. So if he was born in 18, I guess they saying if he was born in 1806 in North Carolina,
Right.
I guess he was taken from Africa. I guess in 17. I don't know.
See, so that's what I'm saying. Because remember, America didn't become America to 1776.
Yeah. So I
So, when we start doing the math, people like to say the math ain't mathing.
yeah. So I guess he had to be taken from Africa when he was about 24 or something. I don't know.
Or as I suggested, maybe take it from Mississippi.
Yeah, it took him from Belusi to
Yeah,
Mississippi,
yeah, a Tuscaloosa somewhere.
Tuscaloosa. Yeah, but
you know, but
yeah, but that's just crazy right there. But
yeah, yeah.
me, I believe that people change, but I I just always believe that if people change like that, whatever they change from, if they change from a thief, or if they changed from a drug addict, if they change from a whore, a philanderer, um, if they change from a liar, whatever they change from, I believe that the the real them, the one that they change from, is always lurking around inside them somewhere, and I believe it becomes a fight, like a fight against good against evil. I mean, bad against good, right against wrong, true against false. You know what I mean? I just believe that like you could change. People change and become pastors, inmates, and people who've been to prison. They turn to pastors. Females that been prostitutes become first ladies, and stuff like that. But I just believe that it's always, I like to say, it's a fingertip away. So
Mm.
I just always believe people can change. Yes, they can, but you have to be. aware and conscious that of who they change from or what they change from. I always believe it's lurking somewhere around.
So your view is it will remain a continuous struggle to be the person you're striving to be.
Yeah, we might don't see it, you know what I
Right,
mean, but the individual will. And I mean that gotta, I believe that. It's things I have did in our past that I changed from. Um, but it's still a even though I'm older now, much older, too old. I can't say it's not. I'm not conscious of it. You know what I mean, or think about it from time to time. Or wonder if I would have kept doing what I did. You know what I mean, or never did what I did. I believe it's always a constant, conscious thing. Um, we have talked about stuff like that, how we used to be and stuff like that. You know what I mean, and how we changed, we evolved from it. You know what I mean, and we can't just really say we never think about like, yo, if I could live, even like, okay, take for example a married person who was single for a long time. You know what I mean? It's the
right,
same thing, and not just for a man. It could be a man or a woman. You know what I mean? I believe it just go both ways in that it's a constant mental, and if it's not a mental fight, I believe it's always lurking around somewhere inside your mind or inside your heart. Of where you came from. I guess it have to, because you got to know where you've been to know where you're going. So I'm not really saying nothing bad about nobody, but you got to know. Well, you got to know where you've been to know where you're going. That's a fact, because what you've been through, uh, it doesn't. What you do is not who you are,
right.
but what you do, it will give you a lot of experience in life. That's all I got to say about that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and it will follow you. You
If
know,
that, yeah, it will
that
follow you.
that's another thing that is important to realize, that certain things that you do will follow you,
Right,
even especially if you do it long enough.
right.
Even when you stop doing it, people remember you from doing a certain thing, and I'm sure you can verify to that.
Somebody just called me like 3 days ago and asked me about a party or something, and I stopped doing that in 2008.
There you go. There you go. That's what I'm saying. So it's something. The way you explained it is similar to what I was saying, that you know we change, but there's certain things about us. There's certain core things about us that we don't completely change.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's similar to that.
But
Yeah,
yeah, moving right along.
absolutely. So
Oh, it's your turn.
it's me. Uh, Now this question is similar, kind of ties into the first question I asked you. Um, it's but it's more geared towards why we be told certain things, why certain things are hidden, stuck in a corner, or you know what I mean, or not brought to full fruition or full surface. So my question is, why do you think we were never told our true history in school growing up, and still to this day?
Um, I had some things to say about that, but we kind of touched on it. You kind of opened my eyes to something with that Mississippi thing. But so. And that explained exactly like that question.
Right.
Um, I guess they didn't teach us things in school because they didn't want us to know. And what they did teach us is what they wanted us to know. You know what I mean? So the news controls the world, and now the social media do. So something what you said, it just made me think because now, as I said, we was in grammar school together.
Right.
But imagine all the grammar schools around the world if they all get the memo in 1976, make all kids watch this movie, or even in just the inner cities. Because I doubt if they was telling them that in in Hollywood, you know what I mean, or Howard Beach, you know what I mean, or Fairlawn.
Certain
You know,
suburbs,
yeah,
suburbs.
I doubt if they was telling like little white kids to watch Roots. I doubt that very seriously. I could be wrong, but I doubt it. But I guess from the inner cities and the ghettos and the places we from that we was told to watch it. So that kind of answers my question that why don't they teach us our history? It's because they want to teach us. They want to teach us and show us the history they want us to know. And they don't want us to know the true history. It's a movie out too with that girl Kiki in it. I don't know if you saw it. Did you see that movie Kiki? I can't remember the name of it. Kiki Palmer was in it, and it was like slavery time, but it was like what you saying. They was right in somewhere in Virginia,
Right. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
because that's like me and you, like when we grew up in Patterson, New Jersey. If they told us that if we were slaves on 17th Ave,
Right. Right. Right.
but if we just would have went on the other side of Broadway, it was freedom. But we
Yeah.
didn't know because we was right there. You know what I mean? And we wasn't allowed to do anything. But anyway, to make a long thing short, I believe that uh, they didn't teach us the correct history. Number one, because maybe they didn't know the correct history. Maybe they only knew the powers that be only knew the wrong history too. Maybe. Or if that's A, or B, they just wanted us to know what they wanted us to know. And that's it. How about you?
Um, Honestly, I would think they did it deliberately. That they knew it, but it didn't benefit them to tell it the truth. Why? Because if they told the truth, then it would give a whole different perspective and there will be a whole different narrative. For example, you know, recently, years ago I heard about Moors, but recently I have gathered more information and I heard that, Moors were here in the year 711. So we were told that anybody from Great Britain or whatever didn't get here till like 1492.
Yeah.
So that's almost like 700 years later. So if our ancestors were here some 700 years prior to anybody coming here, that would mean we actually own the land.
Right.
Now, if that was taught in school, how comfortable would you feel with the way things are now, where you know Europeans basically are the majority. And when I say the majority, I mean that they are the majority of the people in the power positions of government and, law enforcement and, the justice system in courts and things of that nature.
Right, right, right,
You know what I mean? So if they're the majority, that means they get to, you know, tell us what to do. If we knew that our ancestors owned the land, then we would be more apt to be telling them what to do.
right,
We would have known that, okay, prior to American government, there was Moroccan government, and the Moroccan government supersedes the American government, which makes the American government the foreign government. It makes the Moroccan government the indigenous government. You know what I mean? The government that was here. So that kind of goes to us being told that Indians were here. And
right,
then later on, finding out that India was somewhere in another part of the world. So it was like, okay, if Indians were here, what do we call the Indians from Bangladesh and Pakistan? You know what I mean? The ones from those areas. They're Indian and from India itself.
that yeah, that's true.
You, so that's my view that it was done deliberately to prohibit us from looking at ourselves differently. And if we looked at ourselves differently, we would pursue different avenues. We wouldn't be so apt to just go with sports, entertainment, and crime.
Right,
We'll be looking for more politics and businesses and things of that nature, because we would know that that's where we came from. That's where our heritage was from. And that's my thought.
I can't remember. I was watching something that was saying something about what you just said about the Moroccans. Like they they was here a long time ago. I can't remember what I was trying to pull it up, but I can't remember where I saw it somewhere, and it was they were saying that the Moroccans was here they was here a long time ago. I had seen it somewhere. I don't know where I saw it at, but
Right.
I thought I saved it,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Yeah. The year 711. And what our ancestors would call at that time, they were called blackamoors.
Black
So
Mars.
blackamoors. So what the American government did was they knocked the Moor off and just let us kept the black. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
okay. Yeah.
So they was like, oh, we're gonna knock this Moor off because their ancestors have uh, treaties with us, and if they know that they're Moors, then they can reclaim their true nationality and they can challenge us with those treaties.
But Moors are not Masons, right?
No, no, no. But Masons know who Moors are.
Okay.
So that's the thing. Remember when we were 5%, they say, the Masons were the ones who knew the truth but didn't teach the truth to everybody.
Right.
You had to come into the society of Masons. Remember, Moors wear fezzes. Masons wear fezzes. So Moors, eh, the Masons know they are Moors, but they won't tell everybody that they're Moors. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, rich people. Yeah.
So that's one of the hidden secrets
Oh,
that
okay.
people keep under wraps. But you know, one of the upsides of social media is that the news cannot always control the narrative. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
so information gets out and people get to interpret it and grasp on to what they feel like they want to learn more about and do more research as well.
Right.
So
That's deep.
yeah, so that's my take.
All right. All right. Moving right along. If people really lent their ear, they could learn a lot from what we be talking about.
Absolutely. They just take some time, go back, watch it, get a clip, you know.
Um, we hear a lot about the pursuit of happiness, um, good and bad. When you pursue something, but do you think is the pursuit of happiness is the pursuit of happiness overrated, and should we focus more on the purpose instead? So
Mm.
should we focus more on the purpose
Purpose,
or on the pursuit of happiness?
I think, I think really they're intertwined, if I'm honest, because I think people pursue happiness. However, you know, a lot of times we've been fed a false narrative about what can make us happy.
Mm.
We've been fed that material things can actually make us happy, mainly money, and not to say that money is not important, but there are people who pursue money and power so every day of their lives till they don't even really have the time to really be happy because their total pursuit is money and power, you know?
Yeah.
So now happiness, you know, I remember being younger and especially living in the South with my grandparents, we didn't have a lot of money, but I remember being happy. I remember, being happy when my grandfather took us fishing. You know what I'm saying? Being happy to get a bologna sandwich, a fried bologna sandwich. Being happy sometimes when it rained, and back then, remember when it rained, you couldn't have no electronics on in the house. You know what I'm saying? You had to turn all the electronics off. So that meant everybody mostly got in one room and we kind of played games, told stories and things of that nature. And we were happy, So I say that to say that, yeah, we've been diverted to just chasing the dollar to survive, and survival, working every day to survive. A lot of us don't even really think about being happy because we're too busy trying to survive.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Now the other part of the question is, do we pursue our purpose? I believe most people who pursue their purpose are happy from pursuing their purpose because it's something that is in their heart, that's innately in them, that they are like basically destined to do, and their pursuit of that thing makes them happy. you know Whereas if you're caught up striving to survive just to pay bills on a daily basis, many people, I don't think, actually get the opportunity to pursue their purpose. you know, because they've been too busy just striving to survive, just striving to pay bills, just striving to keep their head above water. You know, I think that's what, so I think, yeah, I think, as I started off saying, that yeah, happiness is something that we all want. We all want to be happy. And happy happiness comes and goes. You know what I mean? I don't think a person is happy every day, all day, 24/7 they're happy. I don't think that I'm not sure if that really exists for a person to be happy 24/7, but I think the more pockets that you can have happiness, I think that's, you know, grace, and it's something to be praised. You know what I'm saying? And those who are fortunate enough to be able to pursue their purpose, I think that's great too. Those are my thoughts. What's yours?
Um, Pursuit. I when I hear the word pursuit, I just think of it as a choice that we all got to pursue whatever you want to pursue. Whether it's happiness, uh, financial gain, religion, love. Um, so with me, I would say that I'm a person that I'd rather just stay focused on the purpose,
Okay.
because I see pursuing is if I looked it up, it said chasing your dream or whatever, you know what I mean. And
Right,
I'm
right.
a person, I don't really feel like I'm a chaser. I'm not chasing anything, or maybe I was at one time, but I just don't like the word
Pursue.
pursue. Yeah, I don't like the word pursue. I don't like the meaning of it, because if you Google it or look it up and say to pursue, it says to chase any goals that you want to. I guess because you're pursuing it, like
Right,
a car pursuit, a police pursuit, or
right,
you're
right.
chasing it. Me, I rather just focus on the goal at hand. You know what I mean? And I think in my life I have got more done by just focusing on the goal at hand instead of chasing it. Because you're chasing it and it might just get away from you.
Right.
But that's how I feel about that.
Now, now, when I hear the word pursue, I look at it slightly different. I look at it in a manner of a continuation of something. You know
Mm.
what I mean? It's something you continuously doing. Like when I tie it to the purpose, if your purpose is to make $1 million, or your purpose is to help the homeless, you know, then that's something that you will be doing consistently.
Right.
That's how I look at it. I don't look at it as you're chasing it. I look at it as at similar to what you're saying. I'm focused on this is my purpose, and I'm gonna go after that purpose each and every day of my life to sustain it or to accomplish it.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's one or the other. So because sometimes we've reached our purpose and then we just need to sustain it.
That's true.
You know.
That's true.
So Yeah, so that's that's my thought.
Mm.
I guess we got time for one more.
Okay.
We got now we've been talking about history, so and per se Black history, Moroccan history, African history, whichever we want to call it. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it's no brush off to anybody else's history because all history is tied together. We all share a history, but it's just the way that America has, in my view, designed it to take our history and say Black history rather than American history.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
now we're doing that ourselves, kind of like, okay, we're differentiating from American history and we're saying Black history. So if you could sit down and interview one Black historic figure, who would it be and why?
Man, it's so many people, but if I could interview one person, this is like a crazy question because it's so many people, but
Right.
it would be a toss up between Malcolm X and Muhammad Ali. I'm going with things that I know, and
Okay.
if they pressured me and said I really could only interview one, I think I would interview Muhammad Ali.
Okay.
Um, why I say that is because here was a man, talented man, uh, heavyweight champion of the world, in the prime of his life, about making millions and about to make millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. And he gave all that up because of something he believed. It's not too many people who could do that. Then, now, before him, uh, after him, you got to think we talking about maybe a 24-year-old man on the brink of so much fame and so much success, and just to throw it all, or not throw it away, but give it all, turn it all down because of something you believed in your heart and your mind. And he said that he could have went on and got the millions and did, because a lot of people don't know. Well, he refused to go in the military because he didn't want to kill other brown people.
Right.
But a lot of people don't know that he could have just went to the army like Joe Louis. He wouldn't have never had to go to war. He just could have boxed,
Absolutely.
exhibition boxes. He could have just did exhibition matches and talked to the troops. They would have never sent him to war. But he didn't even want to do that. But it's one thing he said that stuck out in my mind. He said that if he sold himself out and did went and did against what he wanted to do for millions of dollars, what would people say when his career was over and the money was gone and everything? You know what I mean? You know, they'd be like, he went against his own word for money. You know what I mean? And he sold out to you know Uncle Tom or Uncle, yeah, you know what I mean?
Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam.
Uncle
Yeah, Uncle
Sam,
Sam.
Uncle
Scoop him up.
Sam for money. You know what I mean? So for somebody to have that much integrity and willpower and strength, if I could just interview one person, it would have to be him, Muhammad Ali. What about you?
I mean that we got it. We about reached our time, but I'm gonna kind of I would say like Mansa Musa. Mansa Musa was a Moor, a
Okay.
Muslim at that. He was considered the richest black person in the world. That he would go out with a caravan and he would have, you know, give gold to people to where it would like shut down the cities that he came through. He was giving out so much gold, you
Mm.
know, and he was so kind hearted, it and yet he was an individual who, as Ali had integrity and but cared about the poor, you know, similar to like Ali. Ali did that. It wasn't he chose to make a decision because he knew a lot of young people, poor young people, was looking up to him.
Yeah,
You
that's
know
what I
what I'm
forgot. That's what I forgot to say.
you know what I'm saying? That they were looking up to him. So he wanted to be an example of look, don't compromise your integrity over money. You know what I mean? Because you have a bigger purpose than that. Money in most cases gonna come if you find a job, you find something that you enjoy. Most times the money does come. But getting back to Mansa Musa, you
Yes.
know, it's a character. He's an individual that many of us don't really know about him. My son kind of brought him to my attention. You know what I'm saying? And then after that, I've been hearing more about him. You look him up and you'll see like this guy showed when you see pictures of him, you'll be like, wow, this and this we talking probably like way before the 1400s. So it's like, for me, I have a pet peeve about uplifting us as a people
Right.
because it appears that a lot of times, you know, media and news and you know the government and all of that stuff, they put us at a lower level than what we're capable of.
Right.
So he would be one of the people that I would like to interview and ask him, first of all, how did he get to be so rich? You know what I'm saying? And you know, and why did he feel the necessity to share it with others, to go on trips and bring people and go trade with different countries and stuff. So that's my
Yeah,
my boy.
I never heard of him.
Huh?
I never heard of him. I got that's two things you turned me on in today.
Yeah,
Definitely
you'll
to the book,
research, you'll look them up,
and to this guy. I
and
never.
hopefully somebody else got it too, and they
Yeah.
check it out. Because we here to entertain. You know what I mean? Entertain them, give them education and entertain at the same time.
Yep.
That's what it's about, man. But
Yeah.
thank you all for watching, man. It's been, a great show.
Yep. Yep.
I'm
Good to
happy
be
to be
back. Good to
back,
be back. Good to
and
be back.
you know, until next week, love somebody, stay safe, and don't be afraid of change. you know,
Yeah. Don't be afraid. Yeah. Don't be afraid of change. Yeah.
especially positive change.
Positive change.
The positive change that's going to be beneficial to you and others around you. Don't be afraid
Right.
of that. Don't be
Right.
afraid to, get your hands dirty making them changes.
Right.
So to next week, you got anything to say?
Now just tune for everybody who listening. Tune in tomorrow. I'll be on doing my Keeping It Real with Jay Sean podcast at 9:30 on TikTok at Jay Sean 763, and then on Facebook Live Randy J Sean Jackson tomorrow night at 9:30, tackling some of the hardest and craziest relationships topics known to the internet. That's what I like to say.
Okay. Yeah, you heard it here, people. And to next week, we leave you with peace.
Peace.